Welcome back, everyone. You are watching the World Iesf Mlbb Women's Qualifier, of course. And today on the desk, it's myself, Kronos, alongside me, the one and only Andre Trifa, Zakota Mlbb, that we all know to be here, bringing you the qualifiers for Europe, hey, the women's division.
Welcome back, Armand Tapa. How have you been?
Hey, I've been good,
missing
bro.
days.
I know I've been good. I was a little bit, occupied with, the MPL Grand Finals, of course. And I think you saw clips about how things went down for that. Absolutely insane. Passions running high, and emotions running high when it comes to MLBB, of course. And every team wants to prove themselves. Every team wants to be at the top. And speaking of passions, right, Zakota, I think the most important factor is we cannot ignore the fact that, of course, women have their own passions when it comes to MLBB, and it's lovely to see some of these top tier women players take part in the Iesf qualifiers.
I agree with you completely, Kronos. But today we're gonna take a look at the semifinals and finals for the women's Iesf qualifiers. Do you have? I mean, I don't believe you watched it the other day, right? As you said, you were busy, but
Sorry.
I was there. I was there, so I got to warn you. I mean, hey, it's gonna get a little bit spicy in the finals, I assume.
I really hope for it to get as spicy as it can, because I know the ladies are going to bring in the heat for sure. It's just we want to see it in the game of MLBB, of course. But at this point, I feel like with the semifinals and the finals that's going on today, Zakota, you got to give me a bit of a recap, my friend. I kind of missed out on what happened, so hey, I'm in your hands, sir. Please don't, give me a highlight about what happened, what took place.
The other day, Team Portugal lost 2 times in a row. One time to Croatia, the other to Belarus. I mean, it was a bit devastating for them, yes. But that was about it that we had on stream for the women's side. But for the men's side, Georgia and I think Turkey advanced. No, Belarus and Turkey advanced to the qualifiers, right? The semifinals were between Romania and Belarus. Again, Romania lost 1-2. Turkey and Portugal, which was a complete sweep from Team Turkey. I mean, hey, Team Portugal, again, huge respect to them. They beat Team Spain, they beat Team Hungary, which are some of the favorites to win.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be some of the powerhouses showing that they can, battle it out, right? Some of the top tier players, indeed, some of the top tier teams, some of the top tier countries for Mobile Legends Bang Bang, of course. And I think Europe definitely has a big stage. Europe has the hunger. Europe has everything to showcase what they can do when given the chance to do so.
I mean, of course, we have to show that we're hungry. We have to show that we really want to take this series by storm. I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe at the finals, at this tournament that's upcoming, we're gonna, end up in like a higher place, maybe second place, maybe first place. Who knows, Kronos?
Yeah, who knows? Indeed, you never know. For all you know, we could be at the position where, hey, we get to see an offline qualifier at some point. But at the moment, folks, these are the groups, of course, for MLBB Women's Europe qualifiers. Group A, Ukraine, Belarus, Croatia, Portugal, and Group B, Turkey, Serbia, Georgia, and Romania. Zakota, you haven't hyped up Romania yet. What's going on?
I haven't hyped up Romania because I believe they did not make the semifinals. I believe they didn't.
Sad story, my friend. Sad story, but it's okay. At least they represent, right? They represented, and for a fact, I know you would have made the team if you applied for it anyway. But hey, on a sad note, unfortunate that they didn't make it. But again, Zakota, who are the teams that made through? I don't know, man.
I believe Team Turkey and Georgia made the semifinals. And on the other side, I believe it's going to be... I didn't see a lot about Group 1, just Group B, because, of course, like the girls from Team Romania are there, and I have to support my own country, and I have to watch out for them, maybe give them a few tips and tricks meanwhile. But even so, Kronos, what are you expecting from the upcoming games?
I'm expecting some absolute banger action, to be honest. I want to see some of the new metas. I know there are comfort picks, and of course, I'd like to call some great action coming through for the matches that are to follow, and especially about how things can get heated up, especially since it's the semifinal and the final.
I mean, hey, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe it's going to go to a full best of 3 in both of these series. Even so, Kronos, who is the team that excites you most? Do you see anything about them? Do you have any idea about them?
I'll be honest, my friend. I've been trying to do some research over it. And I feel like the team Turkey, of course, they look like they're the strongest team. In fact, I don't see anyone else beating them because they're one of the top dogs. And of course, given that fact, I feel like Turkey versus Croatia, that's going to be something to watch out for. And if I'm not wrong, I think first match is it Serbia versus Georgia? I think that's going to be super integral in terms of matches as well.
Hey, talking about the playoffs, is going to be in the bottom section. Turkey versus Croatia and Belarus. We're still going to wait for the opponent for Belarus. Who knows? I believe it's probably going to be Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken. Ukraine is there. Portugal, I assume, is in the last spot, Kronos. But I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the top brackets of the semifinals.
Hey man, I think I think the winner of Serbia versus Georgia gets to face Belarus, if I'm not wrong. I'm telling you, man, Belarus definitely showed up in these qualifiers, not just here in the women's, but also in the men's division. I think they caught everyone by surprise, right, Zakota?
They were one of the dark horses of the tournament, but of course Romania did some of the most, strong teams. I mean, they did beat Lithuania, they did beat France. I know France was one of your favorites. You have to admit that one for not. Didn't believe that Romania was gonna take that win there, did you?
I never said I don't believe them, my friend. You always get me wrong. I did say Romania are a strong team. I've heard of these names, but I was just, praising the progress that France had as a nation compared to any other nation in Europe, to be honest. You got to agree with that. The progress that they've had with the resources that's provided to them, I feel like they've been one of the teams that instead of, adding 1+1 and 2+2, 4+4, these guys went 1+1, 2+2, and then 4 into 4. Right, that's how they exploded, especially in the European qualifiers, and that's one of the things that you got to be proud of, especially if you're a fan of European Mlbb. But on the other side, just went to show that while they were trying to get to that 4 into 4 which is 16, Romania were just sitting pretty at the 20.
First, I mean, Romania was one of the few teams from last year that stayed together and stayed the same, basically. Just a few minor changes, of course. For change, something has to happen, but even that, Kronos, we are, I believe, going to see the match between Turkey and Team Croatia. We did see what Croatia did the other day. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the draft, Kronos.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely going to be an exciting match to see Turkey versus Croatia. I feel like, of course, Turkey's a powerhouse team, and this just might be a different story when it comes to Croatia, because have you seen Croatia's women's Mobile Legends players play?
We have.
Hey,
I've seen it the other day, Mr. Colonel.
How was it?
Devastating. It was truly devastating. They went against Team Portugal, and Team Portugal was completely demolished. It was a 2-0 sweep.
Wow, against Portugal? Nah, man, that's a different story, isn't it?
I mean, it is a different story, but let's ask the question that it's my favorite question. I've asked it every single day. Which hero represents these two countries by their flags? Which hero do you think fits Team Croatia? Which hero do you think fits Team Turkey?
Now, you know what? Now, the way you've been saying that if they demolished Portugal, man, I'm leaning a little towards Croatia just because of the fact that, we have Luka Modric and stuff, like, hey, I gotta support my boy right there. But I think over here you can take a look at the Turkish roster: Unohana, Meiko, Nora, Mireya, and Zendaya. I think these are familiar names. I've seen Meiko and I've seen Zendaya play before as well. Unohana is another familiar name. Yeah, exactly. Unohana is a familiar name as well to me. But so I feel like these are names that have been their staple in the women's scene for Mlbb from Turkey. So they definitely are, again, a star-studded team, right? A star-studded team.
Who knows, maybe they're going to take the win like the male roster did for Team Turkey. I mean, Kronos, let's go over the names again, but this time, let's say their real names. I want to see your pronunciation.
No, man, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to butcher it. You're just setting me up for failure over here, Sakura.
Do it. Come on, do it. You're do Team Croatia. Croatia.
No, you're setting me up for failure. I'm telling you. I don't want to go through this at the moment. Nuh-uh.
No? But you're going to have, again, team roster for Team Croatia. Stojules, Fit or Fit, I believe that was translation for the name in Korean. Inika, Alita, and Ibuvi in Kronos.
All right.
I've seen what they can do. They were cooking Soyoless using that Soyu. I mean, it's in the name right there. And the Julian, so he likes those three. I mean, she likes those three hero. 3-level peak heroes.
Early power spike, right? That's what they're trying to play for, trying to get ahead as soon as they can. So useless. Ninika, Alita, Ibuvi, and what's the other one you said?
Speed or fit was the translation.
Speed or
by
fit?
Google. Speed or fit.
Speed or feet? Must be fast. This is called
Must
fast.
be fast.
No, I call it Bruna. I think that's the easier way to say it. Bruna.
Bruna?
Yeah. Isn't that a real name?
It is her real
There you
name.
go. But I think that's easier to call, right? You can't read it, unfortunately. I'd stick with Bruna. But Ibuvi? No, I don't know. I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Viewey. Yeah.
Ibuvi, okay. All right. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. But hey, I feel like this team definitely looks like they have what it takes. If you have Milatovic, you have Tonkovic, Petric, and Karabatic, if I'm not right.
Yeah, you're halfway there. You're halfway correct.
And half is still better than full, right?
Yeah, just pity points, Kronos. Just pity points.
It's okay, man.
I mean, I can't wait to see the game. Because, I mean, I did see what happened in the first series the other day. I mean, it was a pure, bloodfest. Croatia just took it by storm.
Croatia, man, they're cooking indeed, and I really want to see what they're cooking against Turkey. Nonetheless, the Turkish delight is definitely going to be someone who likes to take Mlbb to the next level. And I feel like this is a game that's worthy of a final, if I'm not wrong, right, Sakura?
I mean, it does sure seem like it's going to be final, but still, whoever is going to have to win, they're going to have to go against, I believe, either Belarus or Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. But still, France, that's left out to be seen. The match isn't finished between those two teams. Still duking it out. I believe Georgia and Serbia, they're still fighting over the win. Maybe we're gonna have a juicy final, and I can't wait to hear you shoutcast the finals. I mean, I'm excited, Kronos.
Hey man, I'm excited. It was unfortunate that I wasn't able to do the grand finals of the men's, of course, but man, we didn't have any short, right? We had Linville, who was just absolutely tearing it down on the casting desk, along with, of course, Andre. But we definitely are looking to tear up the women's scene at the same time. Looking forward to how Turkey versus Croatia goes out, and the same thing for the next series, Belarus versus maybe Georgia, right? That's what you mentioned. So hopefully we get a cracker of a final. Hopefully we get a cracker of a semifinal. I can't really wait to get in, and I feel like we got about 2 minutes until the teams start getting in, and we get into the draft phase. Zakora, so far, European Mlbb, from whatever you've seen, are you proud, my friend?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not proud, but I had higher expectations, right? Maybe some teams didn't show up, maybe some players didn't show up. I have to be a little bit negative because I like to see percentage, and I believe last year we had a higher participation percentage than this one.
I think so, yeah, but hey, your expectations are unreal, my friend. I'm telling you, I'm proud of the European scene indeed. It's just a matter of time till we get on the world stage and show what we can do, right?
Can't wait for that to happen, Mr. Arman. But even so, what are your ban and peak expectations?
I'm going to stick with the usual suspects, man. You got the Suyo, the Joys, the Hayabusas. I think these are the picks that's got to go for sure. The Fanny, yes, if there is an expert player with the Fanny, of course, at the same time. Maybe a lot of goal laners. You got the Harriet, you got the Granger. These are certain picks that definitely have to be respected. And maybe to a certain extent, the Matildas and possibly even the Fredrins of the Boxias, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You add that Fovius in there for extra bit of spice. Are there any pocket picks that we should be expecting?
The Vexanas have been popping off recently. Vexanas, I've been seeing a lot. I mean, I believe out of the 4 games from the other day, I've seen 3 Vexanas, right? But even so, what would be another pick? The Brody, I believe, and the Hayabusa possibly.
Yeah, Brody, I think, is a good early game power spike hero, but at the same time, I feel like Hayabusa definitely has to be respected, man. I've seen some of the cleanest Hayabusa games over the weekend. So I can tell you, like, Hayabusa is something that definitely has to be banned. That has to be banned.
My Hayabusa.
Nah, not yours.
You like my Hayabusa, don't lie to me, Arman. But even so, we're gonna get into, again, the brackets to take another look. And Georgia is gonna take the win over Team Serbia. So it's gonna be in the semi-final number 1, Belarus versus Georgia, semi-final number 2, Turkey versus Croatia. Man, these are gonna be interesting games to, maybe break down.
Yeah, I think over here, Belarus versus Georgia, that's gonna be a super exciting match indeed. And same thing with Turkey versus Croatia, man. I feel like both these matches, both these semifinals are definitely worth calling for. Zakota, what's your final looking like?
Belarus versus Turkey. For some reason, I don't know. I feel it. It's gonna be either Belarus versus Turkey or Georgia versus Turkey. I cannot decide on the top lane. It's so even, right? I believe in the bot brackets, it's gonna be Team Turkey taking the win over Team Croatia, because I did see some weaknesses, as I mentioned. The jungler Soyles likes to place those level 3 power spike heroes.
That level 3 power spike heroes are definitely good because they have low cooldowns as well at the same time, right? They're not like they're very ultimate reliant. That's one of the most important factors when you think about these heroes. And I think that could be a slight bit of a difference maker, because you can gank earlier, not really like waiting for the level 4. You have a lot more. Those level 3 heroes are not necessarily assassins always, right? They're fighters like the Julian, and then you have, of course, the Suyo. These are the 2 picks. If you're telling me about the level 3 power spikes, definitely looking forward to these 2 picks and how they're contested, or if they're left open, in fact, because if you ban those out, then you're leaving a lot more open on the table, and that leaves the Herrit, the Grangers, the Iritels, the Moskovs, even the Phovius that we'd like to see.
I mean, the Phovius is nice to look at, but I feel like he's such a boring hero to play, right? You just use your first skill, second skill, ultimate, first skill again, your passive. I'd like to see a bit more of the old meta, right? The good old days, the fighter meta, the dive, fighter, lifesteal combination, right? The Yuzhong, the Lapu Lapu. And even a show would be nice to see, right? I mean, the XP lane on that show would be really good to see with those Way of Dragon kicks, just setting it up for perfection. I don't know about you, Kronos, but I missed those good old days.
Man, the Lapu Lapus, the Chos, the carry in the jungle, the Bruno in the jungle. Those are the age-old days, my friend. You're bringing the Granger in the jungle. Those are like something that's super old. So, but I still do miss that. The Yi Sun Shins, however, he's still there. Not the greatest in my opinion, but I feel like definitely something that we can, definitely something that we can watch out for in this division, of course. And I wouldn't be surprised if I start seeing, a Fanny pop out as well.
Hey, Kronos, just because you can't use the YSS, you cannot trash talk him. I mean, come on, gotta give respect that YSS can be a big game changer with a new ultimate rework.
Hey man, YSS is one of my most strongest and favorite heroes. You can't say that I can't play the YSS. We know for a fact that you didn't get on the Romanian team for a reason, right? So
I mean, I declined the spot, so I don't know.
Whatever.
Give me a break. Even so, your YSS, your strongest picks, I don't know. I think I've seen, toddlers play YSS better than you.
Yeah? I mean, you're one of those toddlers, aren't you?
Exactly.
I knew it.
You know about it. I'm that YSS who can beat Kronos every single day. Hey,
exactly.
Give me any hero on jungle, any hero you want on jungle, I'll beat Kronos.
You know what? I feel like Zakota just prepared for this for the time I wasn't here because of all the digs I took at him earlier. Now he's prepared, so when I come back on the desk, he's like, "Hey, I got to jab at Kronos at this time." That's what he's doing. He's jabbing and jabbing, but guess what? When he goes for the right hook, I'm gonna duck and give him that uppercut. Next thing you know, he's gonna get his teeth out. But on that note, I feel like everyone here is, of course, looking forward to watch the Turkish and the Croatian players take stage in Mobile Legends Bang Bang for the women's division, especially a qualifier for Europe in the Iesf. And oh my goodness, last year the Iesf was absolutely insane. This year as well, making sure that all these teams get a stage to perform. And hey, it's been going on globally, but at the moment for Europe, we're gonna get to see who are the top tier players, top tier countries when it comes to Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Yes, we have the winners for the men's. That's going to be Turkey. And if I'm not wrong, second place is Belarus. And we have third place is Romania, right? Yes,
Perfectly, yes.
exactly.
Actually, I believe Portugal is in third, but Romania on fourth.
No way.
I'm not sure. I don't
I
remember.
think I think I saw Romania beat Portugal, right?
What were you watching? A dream?
Hey man, at least I'm not thinking about you beating my Eastern Shin. That's the dream you live in. But of course, welcome back to reality, ladies and gentlemen. We're going straight into the draft. We have Turkey versus Georgia. Matilda Florin taken off the table. On the other side, you can see that Hayabusa being respected. Same thing with a Lucas, another hero that's super strong. And hey, what are the other two?
Gonna be Croatia versus Turkey. That is the Georgian flag, but these are the Croatian players.
Yeah, now I just realized. I realized it's Croatian players. I'm looking at the names, my friend. I'm looking at the names. Relax. Oh, her name is Harley. Her name is Harley. Look at that. She calls herself Harley, man. It's not. It's not. No. It's written as Harley.
How do you know that? Stop assuming, Kronos. Come on, it's 2025.
I'm not assuming nothing, my friend. But look at that. What we can definitely not assume is that Kalea being picked as the first pick here by Turkey. A strong hero, prevents assassin, has the pick-off ability as well at the same time. I think that's going to be crucial. But of course, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's been corrected. It is Croatia indeed. And Xborg with a Carmilla. Bro. Wombo combo.
Come on. That's gonna be a disaster if she manages to get that ultimate to link 5 people across. I mean, I like the draft for Croatia. I mean, the Xborg, 50-50, yeah. But I like the Carmilla. I really like that Carmilla pick, Kronos.
Yeah, I feel like the Carmilla pick is something I like, definitely. But also, at the same time, you need to play out with a little more aggression in the early game, right? You don't have the yeah, I was gonna say, look at aggression in the early game. Man, Lu Yi and Joy, these people are cooking, bro. Turkey are cooking, and we can smell it now. Oh, I like that, Badang. That is a nice pick coming through from Croatia as well. Prevents the dive capability of the Joy, right? You kind of stop the Joy for a second. Yes, the only factor that I see is going to be difficult to deal with is that Lu Yi. They need some strong presence in the mid lane, Croatia.
I mean, I believe Team Turkey still can win the team fight if the Joy pre-pairs her dashes. Yes, she gets 2 in, then gets the third one and goes then for the electrifying beats. But still, you know, that's not gonna be 100% of the time, right? Maybe 60-70% of the time. But even so, as I said, the Louis is gonna be the big game changer in here, right? Maybe Team Turkey is gonna pick out the chip as well to go for those diversions and shortcut plays. You know, it's gonna be a bit interesting. But when the Melissa getting banned out, and I assume Team Turkey is gonna respond with possibly Marksman ban as well, maybe a Moscow, maybe something to, you know, not give Joy again more troubles. But even so, the Sicilians stand out.
Sicilian is taken off the table. They need a lot of strong mid lane capabilities. The Sicilian is good because of the combo that it provides with the Carmilla, of course. The Melissa is taken off the table to prevent that extra bit of range, a bit of backline presence also. I feel like another marksman that definitely has to go. It's got to be that Granger, man. I can't believe the Granger's been let through so much. It's just maybe some of the heroes that these players don't play, right?
Maybe you just don't play it and you're just a hater. But I agree with you, the Granger has been planned out as much as possible. But Kronos, I think the Moscow is a bit more destructive, and the Harry is a bit more destructive than that Granger. You're just hating over here. The Chip.
Literally invented one.
Chip is a good ban. Chip's an absolutely great ban indeed. So that's been taken off the table, which is important. Now on the other side, Selena. Man, that definitely feels like Turkey did some of their homework against Croatia, didn't they?
I mean, that's pretty much a basic ban if Team Croatia would have picked. I mean, I would have done the same thing. Because that stun duration is going to get shared across if, you know, you get that Blood Ode, if I remember correctly. That Carmilla ultimate, you know, Blood Ode, you know, you link up 5 people, you get that Selena stun, boom.
It's the Curse of Blood. Curse of Blood.
Curse of Blood. Blood Ode is Alice, you're correct,
yes,
right?
yes.
But the first is going to get picked up, you know, that Ultra Mage again. It's going to be too much. And even Trey in the mid, if I'm not mistaken, Deloy, yes, she's going to have the power spike at level 2, link a ton of damage, but still. That Farce, I know it, that win by wings pass is gonna be a bit more, you know, annoying to deal with, right?
Yeah, I think the Farce is gonna be annoying to deal with. You have fast rotations. You can try and keep up with the, you know, you can keep up with the rotation speed that's coming through from the Lu Yi. But man, I was talking about the Granger being left open, bro. That is a
I was talking about the
full
Yuzhong.
dive. That's a full dive. That's a full dive front to back composition coming in from Turkey as well. And I like the Iritel being picked up because it counters the Granger. You have a lot of mobility against the Joy, a lot of mobility against the Yuzhong. So this definitely works out. We definitely have a game on our hands, right, Zakota? We have a game on our hands.
We do have a game on our hand, but remember, this is still a best of 3 series, so there's 3 chances for either of these two to go to the finals. Hey, I like the Yuzhong pick, I like the Badang pick, but I don't like the Xborg from Team Croatia. I mean, I feel he's too slow nowadays compared to some of these junglers, right? The Suya was left open, the Ling was left open. I believe as well the Julian was left open. Those have a bit more clear speed compared to the Xborg. Yes, he has that passive that allows him to penetrate enemies, the true damage as well. But the Joy, just a clear speed is gonna be, the big game changer. And those electrifying beats coming every 20 or so seconds, again, big game changer, right?
Yeah, it is going to be a big game changer indeed, but we're only going to find out if it's going to work because we are going to the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 3. Of course, Turkey versus Croatia. You're watching the women's qualifiers for Europe, and this is the first semi-final.
Man, again, pretty much a basics are both of the junglers starting bot side, trying to roll for the top side, but even so, Kalea is leeching out Joy's blue buff, just making sure that clear speed is gonna go a bit faster. But Louis did manage to get to level 4 at Yuzhong. Cha as his residue.
Yeah, I think even, but oh wait, did Harley miss out on the cannon minion on the bot side? Feels like, no, did not miss out on the cannon minion, so able to hit that level 2 along with Unohana. These EXP laners are the ones who are going to dictate the pace of the game when it comes to the turtle, man. I'm telling you, this Black Dragon, when it's unleashed, Harley needs to be faster. Harley needs to be on point with those flicker plays. And the first one to lose out on the flicker might be the one to fall down. And yes, that is going to be first blood on the bot side. Unohana not only got a kill, but also baited out the flicker. And that's going to be good news for Turkey in the first turtle. But here on the mid lane, oh my goodness, they get Ninika at the same time. That is the early game prowess of this Louis.
Something interesting I've noticed is the emblem on Xbox usually useless.
Yeah, I think that's something not used to seeing.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's usually got to be an Impure Rage, right? If I'm not wrong, maybe a Brave Smite as well. But here, Nora forced out the flicker, but they go through as well. Here, the rest of the Turkey looking for a clapback. The Farag armor bursts down. And this is the power of Turkey. Being a powerhouse nation in terms of Mobile Legends Bang Bang, you can see it come through. Not just in the champions of the men's team, but also the women's team who are trying to go all the way.
I mean, hey, as you said, Team Turkey is going to be powerful.
Man.
Oh my god, so close. The turtle has found in 2 minutes and 10 seconds in already 2,000 gold lead for Team Turkey. That's a lot of early game advantage. Even so, Ranger got his level 4 before the Irrital and he's rotating towards the turtle. Maybe trying to get a pick off in the mid lane. Unohana is just zoning out on that bluff. Seeing that far, so Petrify is ready, Furious Dive is ready. Just a play. He made.
Well, here they go for the diversion play. I'm not sure if that's the right position to be in, but oh my goodness, he goes for the knockup. The Furious Dive. They get 2 and now make that a 3rd, if I'm not wrong, as he's diving in quite deep. And yes, they do. And along with that, they get even the turtle, adding insult to injury. 5-0 is the score. Invading, taking away 1 creep, and even possibly the orange buff away from Croatia. A lot of resources taken away. Feels like Turkey might just be running away with this game.
And as you said, and as I said, the most important members is probably going to be the Yuzhong and that mid lane. 3 kills in 1 team fight. That's, again, another way of leading the game. 3,000 gold and a half lead going towards Team Turkey. And, again, it can change. As soon as far as, I guess, those first few items, that Holy Crystal, that glowing wand, it's gonna be a massacre, right? Because the Granger has to use the flicker most of the times to, escape that artillery mage.
Look at that Death Sonata coming through as well. They're able to pick up something over, at the same time. Oh no, what's that? The wrong position! Not really being in the right place at the right time, but here comes Mireia with the electrifying beats, looking to get you. No, they got it. Well. The diversion comes through, man. This is a lot thrown at them. And Croatia not having a good time. Vengeance Vera, and this is not the position they want to be in. Nika's not even level 4. And they're juggling the tower damage under the turret. Turkey showing that why they're one of these top teams.
I believe That's the same mistake that happened in game number 1. Happened in this game as well. I mean, hey, I believe Camila doesn't have her own boost ball.
And it's I don't know what to say, Zokara. Look at Miko. Miko is doing so much damage standing right in the front, and there's no possible. Yeah, there's no possible way for Croatia to defend. I mean, they do have a lot of true damage. They have enough to sustain, but they have the wombo combo possibility. But that comes if they're able to scale up, if they're able to get the right goal. But look at Zendaya with the diversion in the back line. Here comes the knockup as well. The title strike with the tsunami slam. They lose 2. Virag armor is going down. So useless will go down as well. And now only Alita left alone on the top side. Meanwhile, completely disconnected is Harley. Not able to do anything, not able to join the team fights as the bot side is left completely open. Oh no, Furious I petrify! My goodness, Uno Hana destroying them with this Yu Zhong. My goodness, this pick, man, this is one of the strongest EXP laner heroes and shown why as well.
And I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due. Zenyatta using those diversions plays really making a big game in just those petrifies as well, but still, I think, you know, Zenyatta deserves a bit more praise than you give her.
Man, I'm telling you.
Diversion.
Oh no, that wasn't a diversion, was it? Oh, on the bot side though, just to clear the way.
Where's the bot side?
Yeah, just to clear the way. They're maximizing the utility that comes with this diversion, right?
Harley Quinn? Nah, they're not gonna fully commit to it, but Joy on the top lane is taking out the jungle. So useless, but even so, look at the positioning coming in from Team Turkey for people on the right hand side of the map, but even so, electrifying beat.
Oh man, those beats definitely are going through all across Turkey because look at that, they get themselves one, make that a double. Yes, you have the feather airstrike, you're an artillery mage if you, but if you don't have the backup, if you don't have the gold, you don't have the advantage. This artillery mage is going to be having a hard time with that as well. My goodness, burst down in the blink of an eye. Yes, you get the Curse of Blood, but there's no one to follow. There's nothing that can be done, and that's a 2 kills on the board again in these fights. 16-0, 12k goal lead Zakura in less than 6 minutes. It's double the goal lead. They are in a different class, and I feel like Turkey have shown the rest of Europe that they're a class of their own.
Hey, I agree with you, but again, another Tsunami Slam coming through from the Kalea.
Oh, Harley Quinn finds an opening with a fist break, fist crack combo. Goes for the 5-man combo as well, but no follow-through coming at the same time. That's why you can see a triple kill. That's a maniac in the hands of Mieko as it finally gets shut down. But Turkey have already got what they came for.
Hey, again, I believe, again, only 8,000 gold difference between these two teams, but I mean, Harley Quinn, insane flicker, you know, flicker combination, a lot of stun, but even so, no support, nothing to back her up.
Nah, man, this is a slaughter. This is a slaughter fest, right, from Turkey. But although after all of that, look at Ninika, level 6. That's level 6. Nora is level 9, and look at the damage though. Zendaya has 29,000, 30,000. Mieko, Uno, Hana. That's 4 out of the 5 heroes at the top of the damage dealt for Turkey. And look at that now. They go for the diversion play along with the title strike coming through as well. Uno, Hana already baiting out that Frog armor. Now they're able to get the kill. Alita gets sniped down from afar. And yes, they get the Curse of Blood, but there's nothing to follow. Another maniac. Meanwhile, on the top side, yes, Harley split pushing, but it's to no avail because Turkey looks like they want to end this game without the help of a Lord. Only Harley Quinn left standing. The Detsuna is doing way too much damage. They could go for the pickoff at the same time. Here comes the fist crack, but again, there's nothing stopping Turkey. This is a powerhouse nation when it comes to Mobile Legends Bang Bang. They don't have the minions, but my God, should the damage be respected?
Another maniac!
Oh my God, that's another maniac. That's 3 in a row. Just killed the Savage already. Nidika's the only one left standing. Mieko's having a field day here. 16-1-5 in the land of Dawn in the semifinals. Turkey are pulling up, and they're gonna do that again in this first game of this best of 3.
I mean, do you think the second game is gonna be a repeat of game number 1? Or do you think Team Croatia is going to turn it around for themselves and try to go for the win? But again, props to Team Turkey. 3 maniacs in one single game. Kronos, I don't think you've done that in your life.
Man, I've never seen 3 maniacs in one single game. You're right. I'm not. It's absolutely insane.
But let's take a quick look at the highlights. We've seen how Unohana was just destroying that 1v1 scenario in the bot lane, but Zenyatta as well. I think it's props are due. Look at Furious Dive and combination with that, yin yang energy. Even so, Unohana starting with it. But Meiko, he was just slowly building up that gold, that energy. Those stacks on Ranger's pass, if I'm not mistaken, those allow you to do a few more shots. But even so, what else can you say, right? This was a complete domination of a game. The lead was taken by Team Turkey and it kept going. The snowball kept evolving and kept getting bigger, allowing them to just break down Croatia's doors and take their Nexus away from them.
Man, it's a slaughter fest. I'm telling you again, this was a complete slaughter fest coming through from Turkey. Croatia had no chance whatsoever.
There could have been a few more plays like this one. Harley Quinn getting 4 people stunned up. But still, no follow-up. If maybe the Roamer was there, but if the Roamer was there to support him, with that blood magic, with that blood link, that blood return or whatever it's called, it would have been a slaughter towards Team Turkey. They would have gotten 4 shutdowns. Giving them a big goal lead, but that's the second maniac of the game. The third one about to get shown on the screen. Unstoppable Maiko. Boom. Another on the chopping block. Boom. A third one. Boom. And look at Ibul.
Boom.
Boom. Ronos.
Another one. Another one.
Another one by Zadar.
Boom.
Boom.
Are they gonna find another one?
I don't believe so, but they got 5 big. Boom. Boom. Booms.
With the way
let's take a look at the stats. These Kronos.
I mean, do we really need to take a look at the stats? 8 minutes, 53-second game, man. That's absolutely barbaric coming in from Turkey. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were in for. They knew what they wanted, and they definitely got that.
I believe the export pick was the biggest mistake of the draft of Croatia. As I said, they needed a jungler. They had no backline dive. They had an initiator being the Batang. They had a fight, sustainer being the Carmilla, but they didn't have something to, go for those weak people in the backline. Like the Ranger, no, he's not that weak, but still, he's squishy compared to the Joy, compared to Yujon, compared to Kalea. He's a squisher. He should be taken out first in the team fight. Again, followed up by Zenyatta on that low E. So much damage, right? Look at 56,960 total damage coming from Granger, 17 kills, 1 death, and 6 assists. That's spicy. I told you they're gonna be cooking today.
They cooked, man. I told you. I was ready for the fact that they were cooking. But not only that, look at the amount of gold collected by Mieko. Up close to 10,000, of course. And 17 kills, 57,000 damage almost. That pretty much got everything. It's just that Nora was so good. She just handed kills on a silver platter, right?
I agree with you that Tsunami Slam just bring that, seafood tasting hero towards Michael. Just, some sushi, maybe some sashimi. Kronos, you're a chef. You're used to this, right?
Not just that, man. It was a lot of, there were birds available, there were tigers, a plethora to choose from, vampires to eat as well, something robotic. Yeah, it was just a complete annihilation. And if Croatia don't fix that in the draft in the next game, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, Turkey are just showing us that they are in a class of their own.
Hey, Turkey did take the first game by strong, but the second game is about to start. But don't give up on your hopes, Croatia. Please, turn this game around. Give us a best of 3 series we're looking for. Kronos, I know you're looking forward to it. I am also am. Even so, who knows? Everything is possible in the land of Dawn. That's why I find this game so unique. It's gonna be a big game changer if Team Croatia gets their drafts right. It gets everything, in order. Again, Team Turkey dominating the game from the start, from the very beginning. Just give them, I think, 2 kills the entire game.
utter domination, my friend. Utter domination is what this was. If there's any way for them to try and make it back up, it's got to be through the draft. You got to go for your comfort picks. You gotta play to your strengths, because I feel like in this draft they tried to go for their strengths and also try to counter. Not how it works. Play your best. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. You'll let it go, right? But it's commendable. It's commendable that they made it all the way to the semifinals. They're not out yet, but if this continues, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a one-sided story.
Nate is still gonna have that shot at the third place, even if they fall out of the tournament so soon. But still, I don't think it's gonna happen so early, Colonel. I think it's gonna go in the best of 3 series. But even so, I was thinking, right? A little advice: don't try to keep, countering the picks of your enemies, right? If they pick, let's say, for example, Xborg, right? You're obviously gonna go with the Paquito, but are you gonna go for something for the Paquito to, counter with that? Or are you gonna go something different the enemy has to pick to counter for? Like the Granger, you have to go the Irrital usually to counter it, or maybe the Moscow, because we've seen that work a couple times, but you don't go the Harry because the Granger, kind of defeats Harry in a 1v1 situation.
Nah, I think a Harriet's a counter to the Granger. The Granger's not a counter to the Harriet. Come on.
We've seen Kerala put...
No, that's the individual gameplay. That's individual prowess. That's individual prowess, right? If
you're calling me good?
No, I'm not calling you good. I'm just saying
you're calling me good.
No, you're a noob, Andre. You're a noob. Come on. But we'll figure out who the noob is and who the pro is, of course, between the two of us. But while we're discussing that, you can put in the chat, what do you think? Who's going to be the pro? Who's the noob? Of course, between the two of us. As we'll be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
This guy's Akota.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the World Esports Iesf Europe Qualifiers, of course, for the women's division of Mobile Legends Bang Bang once again. And we've already gone through with game number 1 in the first match of the day, which is the semi-finals, Turkey versus Croatia. Turkey, absolute dominating victory in that game number 1. And if Croatia don't switch up something, looks like game number 2 will be the same. To join you for that one, of course, myself, Kronos, alongside me, the one and only Zakota, who thinks he's a pro, but is actually a noob. And to find out more information about it, you can follow his social, Zakota Mlbb. And of course, at the same time, show me some love as well with G_Kronos. And Zakota, after looking at game number 1, what do you think game number 2 is got to be like?
I mean, I'm hoping for Team Croatia to turn it around, but I don't have such high hopes. But still, who knows, you know, the future holds its secrets, and that's why we can't foresee it. But again, as an analyst, I have to, you know, go over the fine and small details. The draft was completely decimated and won by Team Turkey again. Joy, Loi, Yuzhong with that furious die petrify combination, the Granger left open, as you said, and the Kalea as well. You know, there's a few broken picks there, as we can say, in the pro scene. Even so, the X-Borg didn't really fit into the draft of Team Croatia. But still, let's go into the draft of game number 2.
We're going into game number 2 indeed. Let's see how it goes through this time. The bans are already come out quick. It is the same suspects, the usual suspects that we saw in the previous game being banned out. The Matilda, the Florin, the CC, and the same thing with the Lucas. Kalea this time being respected, of course, and the Kimi taken off the table. But look at what Turkey did. They said the Kalea wasn't the playmaker. It was Zendaya on this Luyi. So they pick it up. And it seems like this will be something that they need to answer. Maybe a chip from Croatia?
I mean, I don't think we're going to see the chip coming from Croatia, but I feel we're going to see the Julian coming for the second game. Oh!
Oh my god, the Julian it is.
Granger Julian.
Comfort picks. I feel like this is what we wanted to see in the previous series, right? Comfort picks coming through, the Julian being picked up. At the same time, the Granger also in the hands of Alita. And look at the answer, though. They come back with the... Oh, no, man. Nah. This is the Fanny. And the counter to the Fanny, the Badang, take it away. This is the first time we've seen a Fanny in a very long time, haven't we?
I mean, we have seen Fanny this tournament only 2 times, but today we're going to see the female version of Tienzi, that monster assassin player from the men's team's Turkey. So, hey, who's going to be better, Tienzi or Mireia? Who do you think, Kronos? Who do you have your money on?
I want to see this. I definitely... Tienzi versus Mireia? Come on, bro. Mireia is going to take the cake. We all know that. Like, I don't think Tienzi is as good as Mireia.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as we said. But
exactly.
Even so, I think Team Croatia needs to pick up maybe the... or maybe a suppress hero. Maybe the Frank or the Casualty, you know, just hold her in place for the Julian to get those chains tangled in her. Even so, the Aurora, again, a comfort pick.
The Aurora, really great in team fights, but not against the Fanny, I feel like, right? Too mobile, too fast. Like, now it depends on what the gold laner is going to be on the other side, the EXP laner at the same time. That maybe will change the pace of the fight, but this Aurora, yes, you have a second lifeline with the Pride of Ice, but I feel like against the Fanny, it's not something that's remotely as good as, you know, different other mid laners that would have instant lockdowns.
And I don't know if any mage is pretty good versus the Fanny. I mean, there's a few I have in mind, but still, I don't think they really can, you know, go against the Fanny, because again, Fanny is still capable. It just depends how fast the Fanny is. Fanny is a bit slow, yes, you can counter with Aurora. But if the Fanny is quick, fast, you know, has very good team fight IQ, big difference, right? That's gonna be the big game changer at the end of the time. If the Fanny is good, it's gonna be over extremely fast. If it's a bit bad, you know, that's gonna be a longer game, but still. The Melissa and the Iris is getting banned out, and I believe Team Turkey is gonna ban out the Angela.
Maybe Angela Julian combo is something that they do not want to deal with whatsoever. Just mitigating any form of problems that they might face on their end. But because you can see a lot of supports being taken off. The Matilda, the Florin, the Angela, those are 3 supports already off the table. The Carmilla as well. So really choking down the hero pool of Ninika at this point. And maybe that might be the slight bit of a difference maker. Because in roam positions, if you're a support main, if you're taking away those picks, you're really leaving them with a different play style that they're not used to. As you can see, Belleric being a pick that's going through. It's something that can be rocked to the EXP lane as well as in the roam position. And I think against the Fanny, it's not going to fare terrible compared to the other picks. So Croatia definitely going for a complete unorthodox style, but something that, again, relying on a wombo combo. And speaking of the other side, man, look at these are just some meta picks come through, right? The Herrit, the Batang, the Fanny, the Lu Yi. Yes, the Terizla is a page out of the old book, but my goodness, that's absolute monstrous. And look at that. They get the Ruby on the other side. So they have countered the Fanny in some way, shape, or form. But again, execution is what we want to see, right, Zakota?
I agree with you completely, Mr. Kronos. But I believe the Fanny is going to try to go for a level 2 invade as soon as that Fanny hits her power spike, gets that cable, gets that whirling strike available. You know, that's going to be a big exchange, right? They have the Badang, they have the Louis, they have people that do a ton of damage, and they have a ton of stuns in their game. Again, maybe even the Teresa's going to be there. Again, it is big hammer. He know the blacksmith. Just going to give Fanny her mobility during the game, you know, take this and take curious. Boom! You want it? Boom! There's that built it. Again, maybe he's gonna make Belleric, you know, a shovel. Look at him. He's made of wood, you know.
Zakota's got jokes, folks. Zakota's got jokes at this point with the way that he's saying that. Of course, he can make a shovel out of the wood indeed. He is a tree after all. But, ladies and gentlemen, the big tree for Croatia to climb is the one that they got to beat Turkey, as it is going to be game number 2 in this best-of-3 semifinals. Turkey with an absolute dominating showcase in the first match, first game. And now, if they run it back, Croatia are going to have a really hard time. They really need to bounce back as soon as possible, since they have comfort picks especially.
Kronos, as a Fanny player, do you think it's going to be right for me to, you know, judge the cabling of Mireia? Do you think it's going to be, you know, fine?
You don't even play Fanny, bro. You can't judge nothing. I'll be honest.
What you mean?
Just be happy and watch the gameplay that these women are displaying for us, because it's absolutely amazing. You can already see the damage coming out early onto Ibivui on this Aurora. And that's the power of this early game Louis. And you can see the invades coming through. Level 3, enhanced chain coming through. Mireia gets caught out. But Harley Quinn, I think in a difficult position. I already popped the Vengeance. Alita comes through. Misses the Rhapsody entirely. And that could be a slight bit of a difference maker. If that was first blood for Croatia, it could have meant a little bit of extra confidence that they needed, right?
Could mean a game number 3, maybe giving Croatia the chance to win. But because the flicker already used by Ninika. And again, the Terizla is just dominating that lane like the good old days. But even so, Michael is just trying to freeze the lane.
Yeah, which is good, because I think even the fact that the Herrit has a better time against the Granger in the lane, you still go through. Oh, wait, that's first blood on the bot side. Mireia able to get the kill.
Oh, no!
That's actually an execute coming through as well. Unfortunate that Ninika didn't get any sort of damage down onto the Fanny, but hey, that just goes to show that first blood with a 1k goal lead on the side of Turkey, they're already cooking.
I mean, Kronos, that looks a bit like your Fanny. But let's get a quick replay on that boom tower dive. I think she panicked a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit of a panic, right? A little bit of panic coming through at that point. That's why just diving on the turret and sacrificing herself. But here, with the first turtle coming up, I don't think a sacrifice is going to be necessary, because Zendaya definitely has a lot of damage, and you can see getting too much on there as well. The flicker already baited out from Nora, but here they go through, and the yin and yang doing a lot of damage, but here comes the fist crack. They find more, and now Mireia taking down another. So Useless is not having a good time. 1-for-1 trade, but by God, our Turkey having a great time in the jungle.
What dealt so much damage to Mireia? I didn't see. Was it the Aurora? Oh my God, Zenyatta!
Oh my God, Zendaya, man, just doing so much damage. Just the early game presence of this Louis is just way too much. What can the Belleric honestly do at that point, right?
Just pray and pray that he's not going to get turned into a wooden bat. You know, I know you like cricket, so maybe he's going to become a nice cricket bat. But even so, I mean, the Fanny just needs to get a hold of her finances, just needs to farm a little bit more, because that's what, you know, the Fanny's kind of used for split pushing, used for just going and being everywhere, right? If even so, look at Badang. Oh, Maiko. Taunted.
Frigid
Frigid
Glacier
Glacier.
comes through, and they're not able to catch anyone, but Frosted Breeze catches Nora in place, but here the Mind Force could be dropped down. Nice fist crack, fist break combo coming through, but Alita actually able to catch a double kill. Can this be a triple? Mireya going for it with the steel cables, only finds one, but you can see Zendaya with the diversion doing so much damage. Enhanced Sword comes through, but not present with the damage. Zendaya able to survive, able to sustain this entire fight, gets a double kill, and this is why Turkey are relying on that first pick Lu Yi just to rotate much faster.
I mean, hey, look at the final just taking that battle. Unohana invaded the blue of so useless.
Man, it's just absolutely monstrous at this point.
Is it Jove or Kronos? Is it Jove already? 3,500 goal lead.
Man,
one turtle.
They do have a wombo combo capability, right? You can see Nanika pulling down the I'm Offended into the Frigid Glacier with that Wrath of the Dryads. So something can change, of course. They have the possibilities to make plays, but Turkey are just moving around so fluid, so much motion that there's no possible answer. This is what I was talking about, right? But the flicker being present, they just can't rely on anything. There's no possibility to do what. Oh wait, they get the kill. They get the kill on Mireya. And that's what I was saying. There's no possible way for them to come back, but the diversion is there, and they catch the Aurora midst of runaway. Alita looking like they're trying to make a Croatian sandwich at this point, trying to clear the waves. Might go through, but the damage is just way too much. They dive in deep. Turkey come up with another kill.
Harley Quinn is there. Will he be able to maybe taunt Maiko into the tower with the Red of the Dryad? You know, what ton of damage, but the turtle has the indeed taunt up. Look at the level difference, Red. 2 level difference between these two junglers. But Ruby is gonna get that power plating gold. My mistake, it actually went away, but still, it's possible she's gonna get that whole turret down.
Oh, diversion play on the bot side. You can see Nanika is gonna be the target. Without even taking the tower down, they get the kill.
But I still think that's a pretty good trade coming from the team of Croatia. They did almost manage to get the turtle down on the bottom lane, but looking like it's gonna be something happening on the top lane for people migrating there. But Alita is gonna get melted down. Flicker coming through. Look, that's so useless.
Oh wait, the Wrath of the Dryads coming through as well. They're looking to dive onto Miyako, but there's no support. There's no follow-up, and that's looking difficult and dire.
What did they do here? Ooh.
Oh my god, fist break, fist crack combo. They catch two enhanced sword, but can only run away to a short distance and falls to the sword of Mireya, as now they tower dive underneath, getting a killing spree that is unstoppable. And that's what Turkey are at this point. 4 kills in their hands, and seems like Croatia are not gonna have a good time again in this series. This is the second game, and once again Turkey already 7k ahead in gold.
I think Ruby could have won that one run in the bot lane because, you know, Fanny still didn't have her full items, but she's gonna get that. I mean, look at that Blade of Heptasis going to a Hunter Strike, I assume, which is a bit of an odd choice. But we're gonna see a diversion play going in the top lane. The red buff has spawned in as well. But look at Alit. She's not suspecting anything. 2 people from Croatia are migrating to the bush.
Oh, wait, they go there. You can see the fist break comes out. The Wrath of the Dryads. Man, they don't even need that penalty zone at this point. The damage is way too much. And Croatia are not able to respond back. However, they still can. They have the possibility of the wombo combo, which I said, right? Oh, EB just picks up the orange buff. That's some good news, but here so useless. Might get taken down. Oh, not able to dash through. That's a lot of damage. Winter Crown being bought, but the fist crack making sure they get the kill as Nora picks it up, but here comes Steel Cable from Mireya, but they get caught out in the Don't Run Wolf's King. I'm Offended misses from Nanika, and that should be good news for Turkey as they back off indeed. Again, 8k gold in the side of Turkey, the diversion plan on the top side to maximize the utility and go for the split push.
They're not even hiding it anymore. The diversion just straight up went in the mid lane. Alita is expecting something. 4 people, 5 people from the team of Turkey are from Team Croatia are on the top lane. To the 4. Oh. There is last spacing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but they still find it, and now with the I'm Offended, Nanika went through, but that is not the right time to pick a fight because they dove upon them. Yes, Mireya was the sacrifice, but they got 2 in return. But on the bright side, any gold in the pocket of Croatia is good gold at this point.
The penalty zone is ready coming in from Teresa. The diversion outside the map, just go inside of the tower and manage to get a god like Zendaya. is just doing God's honest work with that Louis. Atela Shield being picked up by Nora, which is a bit of an odd choice. You'd usually expect Radiant Armor because of the stat it gives you, and because they have, that annoying Peleric Julian as well. It's Captain coming through as well. Hey, Thunderbolt gives you a bit of magic defense as well, so win-win situation.
Yeah, man, it's a win-win situation only for Turkey at this point. Croatia really fighting tooth and nail to stay alive in this match in this game. It's 9 minutes in, 9k gold in the side of Turkey, and they're, oh my god, a flicker penalty zone. Yes, you get the Wrath of the Dryads to keep them under the tower, but they're already juggling through. They have a set of minion waves. There's no possible way for them to defend. Meanwhile, the orange buff, it was jungler versus jungler, but Mireia is just so ahead.
2 levels ahead and 5 kills in front. Only 3 deaths behind, but still 8 assists on an assassin. It's still a lot of gold, but even so, look at Nora, 2-17. Playing that bad thanks. Rose Gold, the meteor being picked up by Mireia. She's gonna have a little bit more fighting power while she's going for a Starry Dive or maybe dive.
Yeah, man, like Pride of Ice has already gone down again. They don't need the Lord. Feels like Turkey want to end this without a Lord. Once again, 11k gold lead in their favor. Holy Shield just getting popped out in the mid lane at the top side as well. Should be falling through, and now they go for a diversion play, and they're going straight to the Lord. They understand that the Lord is a better objective this time, given the fact that Croatia have a nicer defense composition with that Aurora being present, with that Beleric, right? They don't want to give any sort of advantage. Just secure the win by picking up this Lord.
I think they're a bit scared of Alita's Ranger. She is 3-4-1. I mean, that's not a bad KDA for the losing side. Even so, as you said, the Aurora just promotes an anti-dive, and just just promotes, hey, you can dive us. If you dive us, you're gonna get punished. She has that glowing one, she has that lantern getting picked up as well. But still, but dying with the second item being the Thunderbolt and not the first one being a bit odd. A bit odd. Still, Hunter Strike on Fanny nowadays is not that great. Yes, it gives you additional penetration, it gives you additional movement boost, but you usually see the Warax getting picked up just because of the extra turret damage and that extra farm speed and the 10%, if I'm not mistaken, cooldown reduction for the cutthroat.
Yeah, I think this Zakota, we can analyze as much as we want, but at this point, I feel like Croatia are just having some fun, right? You can see they're lining up. They're lining up to try and defend. This could be a defense that they're really looking to try out and make sure it works out as well in their favor. They clear out the mid lane, but the Lord is marching down the top side. Mireia goes in, gets a lot of damage down with the steel cables, but with the cutthroat coming through as well. Nice play with the fist break and the fist crack. They find two. Mireia is the only sacrifice. Nanika could go for the I'm offended, misses, but the penalty zone of the back line, making sure they get that full 5-man wipeout as Turkey respectfully put down Croatia in this women's qualifier for Mlbb Iesf.
Again, the winner of the bottom bracket is going to be Team Turkey, heading into the final versus an unknown team. We still don't know who they're going to play against. Who do you think is going to win between, I believe, it's going to be Georgia and Belarus?
I think that one's left up in the air. To be honest, I don't really know how Belarus have fared out so far. But I know Georgia has been a staple nation when it comes to ISF. So I could definitely expect to see some good games from their side. However, Turkey, man, I don't know who's going to stop them if they play like this.
They seem unstoppable. I agree with you. But even so, Mireia has been playing at Fanny pretty decently, not going to lie. Better than yours, Kronos.
Yeah,
I believe anything is going to be better than yours, but still. Huge respect to Team Croatia for showing up and playing it out. Not going to a best of 3 series. It's a bit of a shame. We would have liked to see that, but even so, they put up a good fight in the second game. They improved a little bit more.
Yeah, and but I feel like definitely we need to respect the fact that Turkey are a powerhouse nation, right, Dakota, in the men's and the women's division.
I mean, I agree with you completely, but still, that doesn't mean that they're going to have the sole winners and the sole leaders. Yes, they're expected to be, but still, who knows? Maybe it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Maybe Belarus is going to beat out Turkey. I mean,
I agree. I love nothing more than an underdog story, and who doesn't love a good underdog story as well, right? We love to see that happen, but hey, like Dakota, like you say it yourself, props where props are due. Turkey just know how to play this game so well.
If they had a bit more practice games, I believe Team Croatia's team hasn't been so long together, right? They have just, made a squad to try to maybe take the win home, and they made it the final to the semi-finals, not the finals, to the semis. That also gives them possibility to go for the top three, place. Spot is still available. I believe they're gonna do it after the finals, if I'm not mistaken. But still, let's take a look at the stats. Let's go ahead.
Man, I don't really want to talk about the stats again. This game went on a bit longer, of course, for Turkey, but with the fact that Croatia went for comfort picks, it just didn't know how to bridge that early to mid, which is super important, where Turkey are so powerful, bridging the gap from early game to the mid game. That is the power spike that most of these teams want. And I've said it before, Dakota, you agree with it as well. This game rewards aggression. The more aggressive you play, the better your chances for victory, not just in a tournament format, in your ranked games, in your classic games. If you're able to play aggressive, especially in the mid lane early on, you're definitely you're putting your team ahead already, like just from the get-go. So at this point, knowing Zendaya picked up a Lu Yi, yeah, that's a lot of damage in the early game, especially level 2. That level 2 power spike, not just with Lu Yi, but with the Fanny. Yeah, it wasn't looking good for Croatia after they gave away the first blood. Yes, on the bot side, but that river fights, those neutral objectives, it just was a completely one-sided story. But what Croatia did show us here is a lot of heart, right? They never went down without a fight. They always tried to stay relevant in the competition, especially when it came towards that mid-game phase, where they really tried and even gave Turkey a little bit of a tough time.
Even so, let's give props to Unohana. She hasn't died in both of these games. She still has a stellar clean KDA as of now, but still, the most gold got during the game was Maiko at 10,043 gold. Most eliminations Zendaya with 9. Most damage dealt, again, Maiko with 56,094. And the most assists, again, Nora with 22. The most lords gotten were achieved by Team Turkey at 1, Turtles 2, Turret 7, and Croatia did manage to get at both side turret. The Ruby didn't manage to push her way to it, but still only 3,000 tower damage dealt compared to 32,027. And the gold obtained per minute is 8.2k compared to 7.4k in Team Croatia. Still, pretty even matchup. Still, Turkey, really strong team. As you said, really strong team. Have to respect them. Because if you go with maybe we're gonna beat them. We're definitely gonna beat them. I don't think that's gonna work all the time, because you have to respect them. Yes, they've been in this business for a long time. They've been playing for a long time. Maybe as a squad, I don't know personally, but still, I feel like they have that yin-yang connection. Then Nora's gonna dive. Let me follow through. It has that feeling. Maiko, Nora connection, Zendaya connection with Nora as well.
Boom.
Boom.
It was a lot of booms indeed. But for a fact that Turkey are still a powerhouse nation when it comes to Mobile Legends Bang Bang. That's what we learned so far, right? However, Croatia put up a good show. They put up a good fight. Unfortunate for them, they definitely had to go back to the drawing board, get a lot more practice down, and be one of those nations in the future. Unfortunate for them, this is not the year for Croatia. This is not the time. However, Turkey move on to the grand finals. And let's see who are they going to go up against, because I'm excited to see that. And Dakota, do you think it's going to be Belarus? Do you think it's going to be Georgia?
I think it's going to have to be Belarus, honestly, Kronos, because I've seen what they did the other day, and they completely decimated. Again, Team Portugal lost twice in a row, 2-0. But with that, we're going to give the players a little break. We're going to give, the other teams a chance to catch up, to finish those best of threes, and we're going to be right back after a short little break.